About to make a big decision as we count down to the city's mayoral election. Residents have been able to vote early since last weekend, but Tuesday will be the final call for people to choose between City Council President Mary Sheffield and Reverend Solomon Kinloch Jr. But city leaders are worried we will see low voter turnout. So 7 News Detroit reporter.
Who y'all got, Detroit? Y'all better get out there and vote. You better go vote. Y'all did all that voting and crying over Trump, but these are the votes that matter. You feel me? This is the one that matters right here, right here.
T.R. Braddock bringing us the city clerk's message to Detroiters. She's also hearing from Detroit voters about what's driving them to the polls.
With Detroit's mayoral election just days away, city officials are encouraging residents to get out and vote.
My parents marched with King, and they told me how important it was to vote. And because of that, I do vote.
I caught up with some lifelong Detroit residents to see what is driving them to the polls on Tuesday.
We got a lot of vacant buildings and a lot of vacant houses here. It's a lot of people don't have nowhere to stay. Y'all keep building downtown. Why not build Detroit so people can have somewhere to stay?
Facts.
That's what's driving you to the polls.
Exactly.
Detroit City Clerk Janice Winfrey says there are 519,000 registered voters in the city, and about 18 to 23% of those people are expected to cast their ballots in this upcoming election.
And it's a sad state of affairs. It's sad. But unfortunately, it's not just happening in Detroit. It's happening. Voter turnout is happening. The low voter turnout is happening all over our country.
On Thursday, mayoral candidates Council President Mary Sheffield and Reverend Solomon Kinloch spoke to a group of business leaders at a forum hosted by the Detroit Economic Club.
I would be a mayor that ensures that Detroit is the best place in America to grow and start a business. And so we want to eliminate as many regulations as possible.
They give priority for doing business in the city of Detroit and making sure that we are partnering with them with workforce training in order to make sure that we're mentoring the next generation of people.
Meanwhile, one resident I spoke with says he hopes every Detroiter gets out and votes.
People die for voting rights, and to not vote is like a slap in their face.
On the city's.
That's why I be saying about all these people that always bring up Trump and everybody, bro. Like, y'all don't even vote, dog. Like, y'all got so many opinions and don't even vote. Like, I can't stand people that got so much opinion and don't get out here and vote. Now, don't get me wrong. I like both of them. You know what I'm saying? I got some things about Sheffield I like, and I got some things about Kinloch I like. If I had to choose, I would probably choose Kinloch. It ain't no diss to Sheffield, but you know, he's a man of God. I don't like to mix the politics with the religion, but at the same token, I would think you just don't know. But I like his policies and principles, and I like some of hers too. But his a little more clear. I got a little more clearer view. She kind of give me Kamala vibes a little bit.
Tierra Braddock,
Kamala Harris vibes.
Tierra, thank you. And if you are ready, you can head to the polls. We've got you covered. Go to WXYZ.com right now for our complete election guide. You'll find a sample ballot for Detroit and communities across Metro Detroit, plus all the races, all the candidates, and everything else you.
Let me see. Let's hear a little bit of their policies real quick. Yeah, let me see.
Reverend Solomon Kinloch Jr., thank you for the time. We wanted to spend an opportunity kind of going through your plans, your policies, what things would look like. So let me just start here. In the first 90 days in office, if elected, what would you like to accomplish in those 90 days?
First of all, reassure the citizens of the city that the continuity of services will continue, that their trash will continue to get picked up, that the lights, street lights will continue to be on, and that their 911 calls will be answered. The second thing
hey, that's another thing that went over people's head, though, the street lights. I don't know what happened in the city, bro, but we don't have no street lights. I'm talking about after 6, 7 o'clock, it be so dark out, bro. Like, you can't see nothing. Like, so that street lights, that's a good one. You feel me?
Do is making sure that we engage not just our local officials, elected officials, and stakeholders, but also our state officials, and also spend some time in Washington to collaborate on how we can move the area forward. The second thing that we would do is make sure that we take an evaluation of our top leadership, because we don't want people to think just because we're transitioning leadership that we want everyone to transition out. We want people to take a new approach in order to deliver services and excellence for the residents of this city. And then convene a table of all of the stakeholders with our residents in order to make sure they're partnering in what the reimagining of Detroit look like. We don't want citizens to feel like they're afterthought. We want them to be the first thought.
There are, and I don't know how many, but
That was
lots of
good.
department heads
Okay.
in
Yes,
the city
yes,
of Detroit.
exactly.
And you see, he
Would you
come through like
anticipate
he got a
keeping most of
plan.
them, replacing some of them? Do you have any thoughts that far down the road?
I believe that we have some of the most gifted and talented individuals working in our administration. I believe that there are opportunities for those that have been working to see elevation and to see a promotion. And we would certainly look at ways that we can do that. But we also want to continue to be very attractive for other talent that's in the area or outside the area to come and be a part of what we believe can happen here in the city of Detroit.
You mentioned convening a table. There has been so much discussion about the growth and the longevity of the city of Detroit.
Yes.
As you saw in the latest poll,
Yes.
a lot of people are happy with what's
Yes.
happening in Detroit.
Yes.
But that's a lot of conversation focused on the downtown core and not necessarily the suburbs
Yes.
and the neighborhoods.
So basically, like what they saying is, basically, if you in the city, you see the difference between the city and downtown. They fist all downtown up, so everybody be coming in from out of town, be like, "Oh yeah, man, y'all downtown, look how cold." But take them on 7 Mile and Van Dyke, or take them on Outer Drive in Sherwood, or take them on, you know what I'm saying, Finkel is something, a Greenfield. Like you gonna see, it's messed up out there, bro. It's terrible. It ain't nothing but liquor stores, and all the stores is run down. Are like. But see, my thing is, I blame the people. I don't look for Kinloch to do this or Sheffield to do this, but it'll help. But we have to take responsibilities and clean up our own properties. You got to make sure your grass is cut. You got to make sure your bushes is trimmed. You got to make sure if your roof messed up, you got to make sure you get your roof fixed. We got to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's your job to upkeep your stuff. Like, we let our community fail. You can't depend on one person to fix your community. You can't.
What would you do to try to bring every Detroiter to the
Exactly.
table to see some of that prosperity?
And Nick, I'm glad you brought up that, because no one is suggesting that there are not good things happening in the city of Detroit. We're just saying that it's not good enough because it's not inclusive enough. We've come a long ways. We've come far, but we still got a long ways to go, particularly when you look at these startling numbers that 51% of our children are still locked in poverty right here in the city of Detroit.
YNs.
Whatever is happening, it has not penetrated
YNs.
beyond downtown. It has got to be more intentional in the community. And one of the things that we would do, we would ask our philanthropic partners. I would open up an office of philanthropy.
You're going to fundraise?
Yes. The money is already on the table, and they're doing a lot of good. Look at what Kresge is doing with Marygrove, the almost $200 million that they're investing. The money is already on the table. What we would do is make sure that we're coordinating those efforts so we can work collaboratively and collectively in order to make sure that we're not just doing good, but the good that we're doing is actually doing some good.
That boy be talking, boy. To see that we doing some good, and not only that we doing some good, but it's good. You feel me? You feel me?
The number you just mentioned, 51% of Detroit
But
children below the poverty
51%
line. Yes.
of our children are
51%.
below
Oh
the
my.
poverty line. That's over half, by 1%. So that's why the crime is the way it is in the D, bro. That's why all these YNs, bro, is doing this. This is why I got YN news segments that I do to show y'all, like, bro, 51%. And it's just in Detroit. If you go to any city on this map behind me, if you go to any city in the world, YNs everywhere. They tore up Orlando.
Oh my Lord.
How do we solve that? What
You
can
can't
we
even go to
do
Orlando no
try
more to
boost
visit.
up these families and these children so they are not living in poverty?
We have to make sure that we're putting them on a pathway to prosperity.
Yes.
One of the ways that we do that is the Kinloch plan says, let's start a children's trust fund. So every child that's born in the city of Detroit and remains in the city of Detroit at birth, they get $1,000 investment. And every year through private-public partnership, that amount is increased until they get to the age of 18. When they get to the age of 18 and that money has been invested, look at what they can do with it. They can use it to go to college. They can use it to go to vocational school. They can use it to buy a house. They can use it to invest in their community. They can use
I wonder,
it
can he
to
do that
put them
though?
on a path to a career or to college.
What about though?
That's not a bad idea, and that's kind of what Trump was saying too. Trump said something about that too when he was running, and he want to do that for the kids too. Start the trust fund. Do you know if we had a trust fund, but when you graduate high school, you got all this money? That's a good plan. If he can really do that, that's a good plan.
In the interim, when they're 6, 7, 12 years old, and some are getting jobs or trying to help mom and dad because there's not enough money coming in, and they're making decisions on whether they pay their electric bill or put food on the table.
Well, what we have to do is make sure that we're leveraging our resources in the city in order to make sure that their parents are in a place where they can participate in the equitable jobs. We have great industries that are already in the city of Detroit. We got to make sure that we're doing a better job with skilled trades programs, with apprenticeship programs, with partnership with the schools.
Skilled trades program. Skills trade program. If I could do it all over again, I would have went to a trade school. I would have went to a trade school, no doubt. All our young men needs trade schools. We didn't learn to use our hands and not just for these, but to build. To build. I got some stuff. I'm building my garage right now and everything. I'm gonna be showing y'all different vlogs and all that stuff. But you gotta learn to build, and we're gonna learn together. We're gonna learn together, I'm telling you.
And partnerships with
Stay with me.
universities and colleges to make sure that we're training our workforce. Development is going on all around us in the city of Detroit. Why are not more of us participating? And we have got to make sure that we're intentional about making sure that we're connecting our citizens to those opportunities and not just have corporations and big developers pay fine because they say we don't have an adequate prepared force.
Your housing and affordability plan is aggressive. You're calling for 10,000 affordable units right off the bat. How?
Right now, all we got to do is continue to do what we see already happening. Look at what Brinker and Tobias Harris are doing with Kresge. They have come up.
So let me see let me get a little bit of Sheffield's and see what she's talking about a little bit.
Thanks so much for joining us. First question out of the gate here is, if you are elected to be Detroit's next mayor, what's something you would like to accomplish in your first 90 days?
Yeah, so I would say, one is going to be bringing city government directly to the neighborhoods and to the people of our city. Oftentimes, the resources that we have available are not getting directly to the people who need it the most. And so we have an idea of trying to, number one, improve city government and efficiencies around basic quality of life in city services, but also trying to bring ways to directly bring these opportunity hubs, or kind of like the old neighborhood city halls back into our neighborhoods, so that people can easily and accessibly reach out to various neighborhood departments and city departments that are the greatest need for our communities.
There's been this long-standing conversation about downtown Detroit and then the rest of Detroit. I know you've had a long conversation about trying to kind of bridge that gap a little bit. What would you like to see happen to see the neighborhoods thrive as much as downtown has?
Yeah, well, I believe that this is the number one focus of my administration, is how we now create economic development vibrancy and walkability into every neighborhood of this city. And what I would like to focus on is neighborhood stabilization. That is one, continuing to eliminate blight throughout Detroit, ensuring that we're holding vacant and slumlords accountable who are contributing to that blight within our communities, but then also ensuring that we're providing funding for neighborhood beautification efforts and for home repair efforts throughout our city so that we can ensure that we are contributing to the rehabilitation of our communities. I also believe that we have a lot of vacant land in our neighborhoods. And so we should be proactively looking at ways that we can develop affordable housing, building infill housing on those vacant lots and land throughout our neighborhoods as well. And then lastly, I would say we have to bring more amenities, whether it's grocery stores, coffee shops, restaurants, daycare centers, whatever the needs of our communities are, we have to be proactive and aggressive at attracting those type of uses in our communities. And so we'll be focusing in on activating our commercial corridors to bring that vibrancy and that retail back into our neighborhoods.
All right. So she talks real good. I'll give her that. Can't take that away from her. She talks real good. She talks a lot about housing. A lot of her standpoints be about housing. I'm gonna finish playing it, but I just wanted to stop on the housing part. And the reason why, because this just came out yesterday. And like I said, I ain't throwing no shade at her. She's a beautiful black queen sister. I have nothing against her. We talking about what they campaigning with. I look at they work. Like when Donald Trump running for office, I looked at his policies, not what people think of him as a person. I look at their policies. We have to get out the mindset of judging what you think about the next person. Look at policies. What are they trying to push? What's your policy? I liked it, Obama. I think Obama could talk good and everything, but I ain't like his policies. His policies proving LGBT marriage and men could walk in women restrooms and all that stuff. He started that. But that don't take away from his character as a man. He's a cool dude, but what's the policies? We got to focus on the policies, not how somebody look. And you know what I'm saying? Like this just came out. I don't know if you can see it. You can go down to the title. So long story short, Mary Sheffield had a romantic relationship with a contractor and voted on his contracts. This guy. Crane Business Reports Online showed that he performed 2,471 demolitions in the city as a contractor, and he was paid about 63.7 million, roughly 25,000 per demolition. And the contracts go back far as 2017. Sheffield has voted every single year award to McKinley contracts. City Records Review, the Dayland Detroit show Sheffield numerous occasions, including 2019, the Duff report. She went to Miami, voted to approve contracts for McKinney's company. So they got a track on her, constantly approving for her man, for her boo, which is no different than what they try to say about Kwame and Bobby. You feel what I'm saying? Saying that was his boy and he would just sign him over contract. So it sounds like all of them do it, but you get caught before the election, you get caught on this. So I'm just saying, I ain't taking nothing away from a person, but you gotta start, we gotta start looking at what's real. I understand she be with all the local rappers and she be with everybody in the city, and she was at the Jeezy concert and everything, and you know what I'm saying? Like she's in the in crowd and she's the sister, but no, we don't need uh that we gotta do right as a
A lot
people.
of your campaign, you've also
As a
talked
people,
about
man,
affordable
we just
housing.
gotta do right.
Can you give us some bullet points on
At this
exactly
point in time in
what you're
life, I'd
focused on
take a
right now and how
pastor
you're
to
going to
be
pay for it?
the mayor
Yeah.
for real.
So I believe that every resident in this city deserves access to safe, quality, affordable housing. And one, we are going to ensure that what we define as affordable is actually affordable for those who need it most. And the way that we do that is we have to create programs and incentives like the pilot program that I've already approved and sponsored, which has created to date over 2,500 new affordable units. And we have 6,000 pending units that are forthcoming. And so we will continue to build affordable housing. We will expand the Housing Trust Fund, which I authored and created in Detroit, which provides funding to developers who are actually trying to build low-income housing in the city of Detroit. We are also going to ensure that we're expanding our paths to home ownership. Right now, through the down payment assistance
So all we
program
talking
that
about
we
is home
started,
ownership.
we had 700 new first-time home buyers in that program. We want to expand that program and get our banks to come on board to contribute more funding so that we can have more home buyers here in the city of Detroit as well. And then lastly,
Give you
we
BOUT all the
want to
contracts.
ensure that we're building housing for all income levels and for all stages of life. And so while we do know that we need housing for very low income families, we also need
Out of that 63.7 million, can't forget the 0.7. How much of that you think she got?
housing for
$25,000 a house to demo? I demo houses and I don't 25,000 a house.
individuals who are young professionals, right, that are graduating from college or getting into a new job, a healthcare worker, a teacher. We need workforce housing. We need senior housing. And so we want to be very intentional about ensuring that we're actually meeting the needs of all of the housing that is needed here in the city of Detroit.
Which also then dovetails into my next question about jobs and economic growth. That's been a huge conversation throughout this entire race and how you can bring more jobs to the city of Detroit. So again, what are your bullet points?
Yeah, so as it relates to economic growth, bringing more jobs to Detroit, one is going to be how are we cultivating an environment by making Detroit the best place in America to start a business and to bring an industry here. And in order to do that, we have to ensure that we are cutting red tape, making regulations as easy as possible or reducing regulations and fostering a business friendly environment so that it's easier to start and grow a business in Detroit. Secondly, we have to reduce property taxes in Detroit. It is a huge burden to both residents and businesses being successful. And so we're going to continue to focus on driving structural property tax reform. And then I think the most important here is that we have to continue to invest in our people, in our workforce, in order for us to bring jobs here and in order for Detroiters to get the jobs that are already here. We have to ensure that we're investing in proper workforce development programs, that we have more pipelines through schools and through our colleges and our employers to prepare our residents for the jobs of today and the jobs of tomorrow.
I wonder how many properties she got.
Taxes are reduced, though. That means less revenue for the city.
She talk a lot about the properties.
Yeah, and so what we've
And
been
like I said, don't
studying,
get me wrong. Don't get
very
me
much
wrong.
studying.
Don't get me wrong.
So
I love her policies about making everybody a homeowner. I'm all for that. I have nothing against that. But you can see it's something along the line of $63 million. You went to Miami to bid on contracts. And now, right now, you're talking about all housing and projects and it's like, okay, I wonder how many properties you own. Like I understand it. And then maybe I'm being petty. I could be petty too. You know, let me know in the comments if I'm just being petty. I could be petty. I take accountability if I'm being petty. But the contracts, the houses, the demolition, it's kind of not sitting right with me.
not just myself, but leading experts around this issue, is that in order for us to reduce property taxes that would be substantial and comparable to other cities, it would have to be about a 60% reduction. That equates to about $400 million in revenue that we would have to find. And so what we're looking at is that, it would have to be a myriad of tools that we would combine and go to Lansing to advocate for change. So whether it's an entertainment tax, a ticket surcharge, land value tax, we have to figure out what the best option is for Detroit and take that reform to Lansing to figure out what is the most effective way to really drive real structural property tax reform in Detroit.
We know one of the number one issue for voters is safety. And we have talked at length about the crime and issues that we've seen involving young people in the city of Detroit over the past summer. What would you like to see happen, or what can you do to reduce crime, and especially crimes involving our young ones?
Yeah, so I'm very excited to be able to launch the city's first ever Office of Gun Violence Prevention. And this office really addresses public safety and gun violence from a holistic standpoint. It partners with law enforcement, giving them the tools and the resources and technology that they need, but it also really uplifts the groundwork, the connecting our young people with the resources, providing more funding for youth programming and services. And I think that is what is needed in Detroit when we talk about youth violence. We cannot police our way out of it. We have to ensure that there's proper investment in our young people, from year-round employment opportunities to mentoring, into proper training. And of course, we want to ensure that we're employing and getting our youth in good paying jobs as well. And so my approach will be a partnership rooted in strong relationships with the law enforcement, but also with our community violence intervention work that is on the ground doing the work as well.
I'm assuming you've had conversations with Chief Edison about that.
Yeah, we've
It's
had
not
very,
bad.
very intense
Not bad.
conversations. In fact, he was at the table several conversations last year when we talked about.
It's not bad. I'm just rocking more. I'm rocking more with Kinloch. I respect Sheffield, but she been in that seat for years now in city council. She been doing her thing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I see her boots on the ground and all that, but I'm just rocking with Kinloch policies a little bit better. I like her housing strategy and all that, but I think it's more. I ain't gonna say I can't say she don't love the city. I can't say that. I can't say that about neither one of them. Like they both decent people. They both made it successful careers. They both did things to make the culture look good. They both in high authority positions, and they both good examples of what our kids need to grow up to be. So I want to get that said. But now we talking about policies. She got a good housing policy, but I like what Kinloch want to do with the inner city more than her. Like I don't mind people getting houses, but I want to clean up the neighborhoods and teach our kids trades and stuff. Like she saying the same thing, but he got a plan. She like, well, just provide these services. No, he knows specifically about the trade schools and different things that we can bring our youth to. And like I say, I have nothing against her or nothing like that, but I didn't like that 63 million. You feel me? Now you look out for your man and do whatever you gotta do. I ain't tripping on that, you feel me? But we know what it is. We know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So let me know who y'all got, man. The voting thing today. We know tonight. I'll be back on live tonight. And let me know who y'all got, Detroit, Kinloch, and Sheffield. Make sure y'all like the channel too. Like the channel. Don't be a hater. Like the channel. Subscribe to the channel, and let's grow together. And I just want to say a quick prayer. I hope whoever watching this, man, prayers go out to you. You could be whatever adversity it is that you're going through in life. Just get that spirit of God up in you, and you can face anything in life. Because understand something, you're not the only one going through something. We all got to go through something. You feel me? Either you going through something, getting out of something, or you getting ready to go through something. And I'd rather go through it with the Lord than without him. You feel me? Because the Lord at least give me a foundation to stand on and show me and lead me which way to take. Without that spirit, you basically out here on your own, and you can't win this game alone. You can't fight a demon alone. You need the spirit of God to guide you through this world. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, God bless. I'm out.